There is
not
life on Mars. Hey, curious kids, Kevin here. Today on A Place Called Space, we're answering the question, is there life on Mars? So we've been studying Mars for over 400 years. It started with Earth-based observations using telescopes in the 1600s. Then space-based observations with flyby spacecraft in the 1960s. Mariner 4 provided the first close-up images of Mars. It saw a cratered surface and confirmed the thin carbon dioxide atmosphere. And finally, putting robots on the Martian surface in the 1970s. First was Russia's Mars 3, which only worked for about 20 seconds, followed by NASA's Viking landers. Since then, there have been several other Mars missions, including 4 successfully landed rovers so far. Sojourner, Spirit, Opportunity, and Curiosity, with the 5th one, Perseverance, currently on its way. We have learned some amazing things about Mars along the way. Over 4 billion years ago, Mars had liquid water on its surface. And get this, it flowed for over 1 billion years. Now we've seen this through our discoveries of dried up riverbeds, ancient glacier activity, and tiny hematite spheres and sedimentary rock. Why those? Well, both of those are only known to form on Earth in aqueous or water-like environments. Now, we've also seen real-time solid subsurface ice, snow, and frozen surface water. Water is essential for finding life as we know it, so it makes Mars such an interesting place to look for it. We're searching for the answers to the questions like, was there life on Mars in the past? And is it there now? There are 3 pieces of evidence that gave scientists hope, but they are still debated on today. The first is the Viking landers labeled release, or LR experiments. It was a life detection kit. It scooped up some Martian soil, and then it put a few drops of water with something like plant food in it. Now, if there are microbes or tiny little organisms living inside, they would eat this. Then they would burp or fart, and we could detect it in the atmosphere right above the soil. Now, the first 2 samples saw the farts and the burps, but the next 7 did not. So most of the scientists said it was not life, no aliens. The second one is from a meteor from Mars that was found on Earth in 1996. NASA scientists thought they found fossil evidence of Martian life in a meteor. The NASA administrator then, Daniel S. Goldin, even said that scientists have, quote, made a startling discovery that points to the possibility that a primitive form of microscopic life may have existed on Mars more than 3 billion years ago. But the follow-on work showed that the meteor was contaminated by Earth bacteria once it got here. So, we don't really know. Lastly, the third piece of evidence comes from our friend, the Curiosity rover. It detected burps of methane from specific underground locations on Mars. Now, this could come from a biological process, or life, like what the Viking LR experiment was looking for. Or it could just come from geochemical processes with the change of Mars's seasons, meaning no life. Carl Sagan said, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So therefore, to date, we have no proof of past or present life on Mars. The evidence shows that the ancient Mars surface had liquid water and may have been habitable or could suit life, but the existence of habitable conditions does not necessarily mean the presence of life. Now, on to trivia. The answer to last week's question of how many planets currently have rings is C4. They are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They all currently have rings. Saturn's are just the biggest. Now, this week's question is, in mythology, what is Mars the god of? Is it A, war, B, fear, C, panic, or D, robots? Tune in next week to get your answer. Always be curious.